for all of us at Homer, our H drives are now located directly within our Google Drive. So to find them, you are going to use your waffle right here, and you're going to go to your Google Drive, or you can type the direct link. It's drive.google.com, or if you use it enough that you have bookmarked, I have mine bookmarked right here. So however you usually get to Google Drive, once you get in there, you will see whatever your drive looks like. It might look different than mine, and that's fine. I have a lot of folders. You're going to look for the folder called Migrated H Drive. So within that folder, that's where you'll find your H Drive materials once mine loads.
Okay.
That's everything that was on your H Drive. I just want to put a point out there that if you haven't touched anything on your H Drive since it's been at school, it hasn't been modified, it hasn't been accessed. So if you have like uploaded something to G already and you've been working with that file, you've been manipulating that file, that's the one you should continue manipulating. If you have a second copy in your migrated H Drive, to avoid confusion, you may want to delete it. That's up to you. But the migrated H Drive folders are the ones that you haven't been having access to because they've only been accessible at school. Now, the S drive would be over here under shared drives. You can see when I click this little arrow, it can open up. I have a bunch of shared drives just so I can help people with their shared drives. But these are the same as the S drives you would have had at school. So within your, like I was in the junior high before when I was teaching. So if I go into here, you'll see I can see all of the files that were in S drive were moved over on April 2nd by Chris. So there is that. Does anyone have any questions on how to find their stuff? Let's see. No, we're good. Okay. All right. So, no. Okay. So now my next step is how to organize it within your G Drive. Well, basically, if you've done one of my Google trainings, you'll know that you can create folders within, you can drag and drop, but I'm just going to show everyone really quick how to do it. In the how-to, I did link my how-to Google Drive stuff. All of my stuff is on my website. I have the link right in my email signature, and I also have, it's pretty much anywhere if you get an email from me, which I think everyone has in the last few days at least. So anyway, all right, so here is my migrated H Drive, and I have pictures from school right here. So what I want to do is I want to move that. There's two options. I can do a 2-finger tap to right click, or if you have a mouse, you can right click, and I'm going to go to Move To. This brings up an option. Right now, it's in my migrated H Drive. I'm going to click this back button, and it's going to take me to my drive. So now I can find the folder wherever I want to put. I can put folders within folders. That's one way to do it. Now, personally, I like the drag and drop method. So I'm going to go up here to my drive. I'm going to click on this triangle, and it's going to open up, I like to call it my table of contents. I'm going to make this a little bigger so I can see. So you can see here, these are all my folders, and I can scroll down. I think I have a pictures folder. Yeah, I have a photos right here. So I want to take this, and I'm going to hold it and drag it over to photos. And when I do that, it's going to go in there. Now I can see down here that it tells me it moved. And let's say it moved to the wrong one, because sometimes it goes into another folder. I can click the undo for a few seconds before I do that. Now, to click and drag with the Chromebook, if you're not aware, you can hold it with one finger and drag with the other finger. So you can use 2 fingers for that. So now it's in there. It's no longer in my H Drive, or this migrated H Drive folder. It's organized within the folders I already have. How's everybody doing? Does anyone have any questions at this point?
No.
If you do, throw them into the chat. Yeah? All right, I think we're good. If you have one, just throw them in chat. So my next thing I want to show you after you organize all this stuff, which I still have to go through and organize my stuff, I'm not going to lie, I want to show you how to manipulate these Microsoft files on the Chromebook. So I have a few examples here. The first thing I'm going to show you how to do is I'm going to show you how to open it with Clever and Cameo. All right. So here's my examples. I know where they are. I always recommend finding your materials first. I know they're in this folder called Microsoft Materials for Trainings. Right. So here I have a Word file, I have an Excel, and I have a PowerPoint just for this. So I'm going to go through Clever, which everyone has a Clever extension. You can see right here, it's this blue box. I'm going to click it. Oh, it opens a new tab. Okay. It opened a new tab for me. I'm going to log in. Now, mine comes up automatically, Homer Central School District. If that's not correct, click on Not Your District. There are a bunch of Homers in there, so you need to make sure you find the right one. Our districts are all in caps, and to find it, you would search for Homer Central, and I put all the titles of them right within the right within my how-to sheet. And then I'm going to sign in with Google. All right, I heard a pop come up, so I'm going to pop over here.
Okay.
I do not want. I used to be able to do recent or search to get things fast, and I can't do now because it pulls up crap from years ago. That is totally right. If you don't want it anymore, go ahead and delete it. I know that when we moved it over, when we moved it over, that threw everyone for a loop, Stacy. It wasn't just you. It moved everything in, and then all of that really old stuff came in your recent, and people were using their recent stuff. So unfortunately, there's not much you can do about it. Getting H drive over did take a couple, happened a few times. There's some things that we don't like, and that was one of them. So unfortunately, yeah, you can delete the stuff in the H drive, but just know that once it's deleted, it's probably gone. All right, so I'm in my Clever portal, and hopefully you guys have accessed this before. The students all have a Clever portal. It's their homepage when they log in. Each of us has our own website that we can share things with. So I'm going to start with Word because that's a popular one. And I am going to open a Word document through Clever. I'm going to click on Clever, click on the word. Now you'll see it comes up with Cameo. Cameo is just, and Josh and Chris can explain this better for me, but basically it's a mirroring program where it's mirroring what's happening on a desktop somewhere else. So we can't run programs on Chromebooks. So through Cameo, it's mirroring on a computer somewhere else and showing us. That makes sense. Synchronizing your data, sometimes it takes a while, and this is normal. So when you're doing it on the Chromebook, and you want to use Word, or you want to use Active Inspire, or you want to do Excel, you need to do this each time, and then wait. So while this is loading, did I click on Active Inspire? I thought I clicked on Word. I did. This is the joy of using these. And of course, my internet is probably a little slow today. Once you synchronize your data, like when I do the next one, when I open Excel, it won't take this long. It does this once, and then it goes a little faster each time. So, oh, maybe it'll work. I'm just going to say I'll skip to the next one and then come back to this. Here we go. So now it's going to work just like Microsoft Word would work on my desktop. Same with Excel, same with PowerPoint, same with Active Inspire. So here I am. I can open a blank document. I can do one of these things, but here's my recent stuff. Obviously, I haven't used it in a while because my most recent is late assignment slip with Mr. Bernanke, who I used to co-teach with. So I'm going to go to Open Other Documents. And what this is going to do is this is going to bring up this PC, my Chromebook, as a browser. Click on Browse, and that's just going to bring up the folder it usually would if I was on my computer. It's going to allow me to look through my G Drive now. So right here, G Drive is Google Drive. Team Drive is your shared drives, all right? So I know that my Microsoft stuff is within a professional development number 5. It's like going down the rabbit hole here. All right. And that's why it's important you know where your stuff is before you go into this, because otherwise you're looking through it, whatever. All right. So here is my DOCX. So I'm going to open it. This is my Word file. And here it is. So now, once it loads, of course, I can go through and I can do anything that I usually would do in Word, including saving it. All right. So I can always save as and make a new copy, put it in a different place. And again, it all connects to your G drive. So this would work the same with, let's open a Excel. See if this one takes as long. We'll see. Now I've had a lot of questions about using the Active Inspire, because Active Inspire before, when we were using this Cameo, it was a little clunky. It didn't work as fast as Active Inspire on the computer. They've updated. Cameo has worked very closely with Chris, and he's on the phone with them a lot, but they have updated a lot of their programs, and they've been really helpful for us. So you'll see that doing this before, you had like limited abilities to go into Active Inspire, to go into Word. You didn't have all the same things, but now you do. So just so everyone's aware, you will have all the same capabilities you would have had with Word and Excel from the 216 standpoint. So here we go. Same thing. I'll do it one more time. I'm going to open other workbooks. I'm going to click Browse. It's going to open to my G drive. I know that the file I want is in here. Microsoft Materials, and here it is. So now I can open this chart. Here it is. And I can do all the same things I had for before. So just make sure, you use that same workflow if this is what you want to do. Does anyone have any questions about opening and using them as a Word file or as an Excel or as a PowerPoint? I'm going to do PowerPoint because it's the same thing each time. All right, so Josh said that the remote server does go to sleep at night. It has to first use of the day. So that when I started with Excel, it did take a lot faster, or it took a lot less time. Now, the next thing I want to show you is some things we don't, well, some of the apps, Excel, Word, and PowerPoint, are compatible with Google apps. Publisher things, Access, Active Inspire, if you're in a class that uses Photoshop, those things are not compatible really with any of the Google apps we currently have. So what I want to show you is how to open it right within Google. All right, I'm closing out these things because I want to make sure that I have as much movement as possible. So let's say I double click on this. I want to open it. And you'll know if you've done this before with any Microsoft file, it opens it like this. It's a preview. There's nothing I can do to it. I can't type on it or whatever. But if you wanted to type on it, you could do it 2 different ways. You could do your 2-finger tap. Hello, there it is. And you can do open with, and this is a Word document, so I'm going to do Google Docs. Now, when I do this, it is not converting it to a Google Doc. It's just opening the Word document in Google Docs. You'll see this takes a lot quicker time. And I know it's still a Microsoft Word file because, hold on, wait for it. There'll be a little sticker here, I like to call them stickers, that says .docx. So now it's still a Microsoft Word file, but I can edit it like I would a Google Doc. It does take a minute because I'm still spinning wheel of death up here. There we go. So now you can see here it's saving, all changes saved. So if I exit out later, Now I'm back here. Let's see. I'm gonna do my 2-finger tap. Let's see if it saves, right? I didn't have to go to file, save, anything like that. Torturing myself because I have to wait again. Hurry up and wait, everybody. Hurry up and wait. There it is. So it did save right in there. It's still a Microsoft Word file. So if I was to open it through Cameo, if we go back to school and I open it through, if you're using a desktop for this, you could still open it through that. The thing that Chris and I figured out is that it does take a little time to kind of upload. It's not as quick as if it was doing it in Google Docs. You could literally, if someone else was on the same document, if you were collaborating, you could literally see me typing from Chris's computer up, where he lives far, far away. So you could see it at that time. But if you keep it as a doc or you keep it as a Word file, it takes a few seconds to kind of upload. It's not as fast. So that's another way to do it. All right. Now, the third thing I wanted to show you was how to save it as a Google Doc. Let's say I'm going to be using this a lot. I know I want to share it. That's the kicker. When you want to start sharing and collaborating, you really want to just start using Google Docs and not necessarily the Google or the Microsoft format, because that's just not as friendly to share. So what I'm going to do is, I have this here. I'm going to go to File, Save as Google Docs. Now when I do this, it's going to open up that file in Google Docs. I'll know that it worked. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee while this is loading. My name is still there. It brought everything over. I know that it worked because there's no longer this little sticker here that says .docx. It's just a file extension. And each one is different. I put it right in my how-to sheet. PowerPoint is .ppt. Excel is .xls, I think. But there we go. So now this is a Google Doc. Now the way it saves it, when I go here back to my drive, you'll see in my Google Drive, it popped up. So now I have two documents. I have a Microsoft Word file and I have a Google Doc. If you are going to start just using the Google Doc, I would completely erase the Microsoft Word file. You can see here next to them, the little icons, you can tell the difference. Word has a W, Docs is just the blue with the lines. You can also see the file extension for Doc is here, all right? So if you're gonna start using, if you're gonna transfer something over to Google Docs, I would just delete that. It makes, like Stacy was saying in the beginning, and there's too many things in your drive, it just gets overwhelming. Personal preference. If you don't want to delete it, you want to keep it just in case, keep it. That's fine too. Up to you. All right. So that, I think, let's see. Who's got questions? Chris and Josh, did I miss anything?
Look good to me.
Okay. Sue, I know you have questions. No? All right. Maybe. Oh. I think so. See if it goes a little faster. I share out the recording once I get it. I'll post it. All right, so John, good question. I have avoided using Clever. How should I begin? John, you should click here on this little, and I would just start playing with it that way. I hope it helps. That'll get you in there, get a feel for it. You don't have to worry about, I wouldn't jump into sharing things with kids on it just yet because we're using Google Classroom, and that is kind of our way to do it. But to access files through your Chromebook, Clever is definitely the way to go if you don't want to convert it to a Google app. And Karen said, Just open an assembly flip chart and woo, it worked. Not that I doubted you. Thanks, Karen. Yeah, John, it is safe to play around with. All right. So I'm going to take my kids around the block. Online in a little bit.